Some injury updates today in the SEC. Arkansas star running back Rocket Sanders will not play this Saturday against BYU. Sam Pittman announced. Sanders has been out since suffering a knee injury in the season opener. He was a preseason All-SEC pick, and Sanders rushed for 175 yards against BYU last year, so a big loss for the Razorbacks.
Some people love KJ Jefferson and have put him at the top. He takes on BYU this week. Give us your read on not only him, but what's going on with Arkansas right now.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit middle of the pack. That's kind of where I have him. That's where a lot of people that I know have him. So he's a quarterback that I think has passing potential. I think he's grown a lot as a pure passer. It's just about establishing a higher rate of consistency. Really big guy, really hard to tackle, and brings a lot on the ground. So I'm curious to see how he progresses. But I would say that when it comes to the SEC right now, he's kind of toward the middle of the rankings.
This is the Spike This segment, and I got a lot to talk about, PB.
All right, so give me some bold predictions. Spike it, let's go.
All right, the number one bold prediction right here. Let's start in Arkansas. They will have 400 yards of offense versus BYU. Remember, last year, KJ Jefferson he had over 350 total yards of offense by himself. New defense. When I look at their defense, they're playing great on that side, and they're turning the ball over, giving more opportunities. I see no reason why they should not have a problem getting.
It would be impressive too, right? No Rocket Sanders. Sam Pittman ruled him out for another week, so yeah, that would be a heck of a Spike this.
Better not be short fields, man. You turn the ball over and give them a short field. It's hard to pile up those yards. I'm just saying.
Well, Arkansas D, make sure it's not a short field.
Okay.
That's part of the script.
Pick it and kneel.
Wait, aren't you supposed to talk like this right, for the Secret Service guys? Not like this?
Oh, it's in here.
Yeah, it's right there. Okay, just making sure.
What is wrong with the SEC West? Feels like an oddball year, that according to Sports Illustrated and pretty much anyone else. So who you like? Most people say, hold on a second. hold your horses, as they say in the old West. Alabama is still the prohibitive favorite, according to ESPN Analytics. Now, we don't know who that is or where they live or what basement they're in their mother's house they are hiding right now, but 61% like Bama. 14% is where LSU and Ole Miss are tied, and 6% of the analytics still have the Aggies winning the West. That's 6% more than many did Saturday afternoon in Miami.
Let's head back to our quarterback conversation with a bit of a status check with where some of our guys are to some 3 games into the season. If you're A.J. Swan at Vanderbilt, you and I both ranked our top 5 quarterbacks as they stand right now.
Right.
2 games in based off of what we've seen, little eye tests, little numbers here and there. Who was your number 1 guy? I guess we'll start there.
My number 1 guy was Jackson Dart. And he's been on the money. He takes the correct read. He sees the correct read and he puts it on the money. For me, I think he's very instrumental as far as what Ole Miss is looking for, what Lane Kiffin is looking for. Make sure you manage the game, but when the play is there, you have to be able to get the ball there. Last year, one of the things that I thought he struggled with, he would be in rhythm, and then that bonehead play where he would throw an interception or just kind of get a little bit ahead of himself. But now he is on pocket, and they're going to continue to win.
Yeah, I mean, he's looked like a guy who has confidence in it being year 2 as the starter in this offense that Ole Miss is looking to run. I want you to go through your top 5 first. So you have Jackson Dart at 1. Who rounds out at 2, 3, 4, and 5 for you?
Wigman comes in at number 2.
Okay.
Daniels at number 3.
Okay.
Number 4 is Spencer Rattler.
Okay.
5 is KJ Jefferson.
This is so funny because Takeo and I hadn't seen each other's lists. I have the exact same guys, but just in a different order.
Lane, shut your mouth.
I swear I have the same guys in a different order. So there's yours on the right, mine on the left. I have KJ Jefferson as number 1 right now.
Okay, then.
I am looking at the way KJ, maybe the numbers aren't necessarily there for KJ in this Arkansas offense right now, but I keep seeing KJ demonstrate unbelievable accuracy, the ability to throw on the run, and how many linebackers have we seen try to take down KJ Jefferson so far this season and be absolutely unable to do it. They're like hanging on him like my 3-year-old toddler cousin who's trying to pull me down at the Thanksgiving dinner table to try to wrestle. Like, I don't know what the comparison is, but KJ looks like he makes everyone else look like a child out there. KJ is my number one as far as full body of work right now.
I like that because the thing I really appreciate about KJ's game is I don't think no other quarterback means that much to their team when you look at KJ from the dual threat perspective. When he plays, they averages at least 36 points per game. When he doesn't, they're only averaging 13 points per game. Now they're averaging 42 this year. So it goes to show you the importance of his presence when he's on the field.
Yeah, you mentioned Jackson Dart. The numbers are there to back it up. Connor Wigman has the highest QBR of any SEC quarterback in the league right now. Jaden Daniels just had a career day.
All right, one more game here on SEC scoreboard. It's kind of a big matchup, and it was kind of a monstrous win for Arkansas last year, taking on BYU. They went over to Provo, and they put up like 9,000 yards. The difference is they were able to have KJ Jefferson and Rocket Sanders, and once again, no Rocket Sanders in this game.
Yeah, last week I didn't get that memo, but
nor did I. But KJ has been fantastic so far. The offensive line hasn't been great, though, and even Sam Pittman's talked a little bit about that as well, too. What can Arkansas show you in this game over in Fayetteville against BYU?
Well, I thought it was, like you mentioned, a great win for them going out to Provo last year. I thought it was a big confidence builder for that team. This is an interesting dynamic with BYU. Did you know they have 60 new players to the program on that roster?
Really?
60 new players that BYU is breaking in this season. So it's an opportunity.
I can't believe you could find 60 people that want to be a part of the honor code out there at BYU. Like, I feel like that would be one of the tougher places to grab a bunch of transfer portal guys. Like, hey, listen, I know that you've been hanging out in, you're over at Georgia Tech, or you're over at Florida, or you're over at USC. Come to Provo. Come to BYU. Do they allow dancing there? Is it caffeine?
Footloose.
Okay. I can't remember, but the honor code is a legit thing over there.
It's a legit thing for sure. It doesn't appeal to everybody, but we actually talked about this the other day. BYU, remember that offense back in the day? That's where
Ty Detmer, all those guys.
Name your 3 top all-time BYU quarterbacks.
I mean, I'm going to go Ty Detmer and 2 other dudes. I can't remember.
Are you kidding me?
What?
Jim McMahon, Steve Young?
McMahon. Yeah, well,
Steve Young? I'm like, that's a pretty good trio of
I know those guys as NFL quarterbacks because I'm not nearly as old as you are.
You're
I don't
like
remember them.
a couple years younger than me.
I just didn't
You didn't know they played at BYU?
I forgot that McMahon played over there. I do remember
how about
that
him?
Steve
How
Young.
would he do in the honor code? Or how did he do in the honor code?
I'm sure he did great. I'm sure he did great because he was an honor code through and through guy. And when he got to the NFL, that's when he's like, oh, I've been missing
He's
this.
been held back? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
We gave you nothing about the Arkansas-BYU matchup from this year?
I did say that no Rocket Sanders and that Pittman has talked about not being able to run the ball well.
The fact that Rocket's not there, you should be able to run the football. That's what Arkansas has built their kind of offense on under Sam Pittman. I want to talk to Bumper Pool later on about maybe why they haven't been able to have that typical running success through 2 weeks, especially against inferior opponents that you would think. It is a little troubling even without Rocket's availability. They haven't run the ball as well as they should.
Right. Rocket grounded, but KJ takes flight.
So Rocket's not playing?
Rocket Sanders is not going to be playing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Just making sure you got that update there. How are you going to grade my headline there on a scale of 1 to 10?
I like it. Yeah,
decent,
we're using aeronautical references, which are always good.
Yes. Listen, no Rocket Sanders. I think this offensive line has been a little bit of a struggle. Sam Pittman's talked a little bit about it.
They've been called out in the media by their head coach. Wanting to see more from the run game, wanting to see more from the blocking up front. So I think that I would agree with you. They do assert themselves a little bit in the run game this week, despite not having Rocket Sanders.
If there's one quarterback I need for one big game, I'm taking KJ Jefferson. He's my number 1 draft pick when it comes to a big-time performer. They're going to need him because if they get this win against BYU, which I think they do, remember they're going to face a talented LSU squad coming up the next week.
There's been a lot of talk about subpar quarterback play in the conference. There's still some serious dudes all around this league. I'm going to make you choose. You got one game to win, and you got to choose one SEC quarterback. Who's it going to be?
You want me to go first?
Yeah. I already know who
this is off the radar a little bit, but Jackson Dart, all right? Maybe one of the more inexperienced starting quarterbacks of all the guys.
My man, we didn't even know if he was going to start the season,
Dude,
and you're already going with Jackson Dart?
I love the guy. I love what he's done in terms of the flow of the offense. I love his accuracy. I love his arm. I love his running ability. I think when you choose a quarterback, you have to have a guy that's kind of a dual threat guy. So there's a number that you could choose from, Jaden Daniels, but he his connection with the receivers hadn't been there very well.
Keep going. Who is my number one pick?
Your number one pick is KJ Jefferson.
Because that's the right pick. Because I'm the smarter person in this relationship.
You don't want to piss
Absolutely, yeah. We got a studio audience of one. We finally have fans, or I don't even know if he's a fan of the show, but yeah, I'm going with KJ Jefferson because you talked about that. You want a dual threat quarterback, a guy that like every time it seems like something's thrown at him, it seems literally like he's like the Superman. People bounce off of him. And again, I'd like to say that if you had one game and you're saying I got to follow this dude, I'm following KJ freaking Jefferson.
I think one of the greatest illustrations of what you're saying is when Arkansas doesn't have KJ Jefferson. The record when he's not on the field is significantly different than when he is.
All right, you got to put the threes up here, SEC this morning. There you go, bumper pull.
No, we have 3 wide.
We go 3 wide.
Were you one of the guys that held up the 4 in the fourth quarter? Like, all right, guys, come on, let's finish.
No,
I think that's goofy, right?
I always see people do it, and half the team's doing it, half the team's not doing it. Like either you talked about it or you didn't. It's not just the fourth quarter. Put your 4s.
I'm with Bumper on that. I think it's goofy.
Okay, so you don't want us to do the 3s up for the
show
third
is goofy,
hour?
so we'll definitely all right with that.
Bumper Pool, former Arkansas standout, joining us, and you know what? We're just going to have some fun today, all right? We're going to do basically our show. You coming in along for the ride, and you say a lot stuff smarter than Chris Doring here. That works?
I will do my best.
How is it, man, watching your team, watching the Hogs this year, not being a part of it, man?
It's different. I was at Arkansas for forever. So it was, 5 years. And before that, I was a recruit. So, you're going to games as a recruit. So now getting to watch the Hogs as a fan, stress-free. I'm just getting to watch.
Stressful?
Well, I was going to say,
like
really?
It's more stressful when you're not playing. Like you have less control over it. Like I get more nervous about Florida games as a fan now than I did when I was actually playing.
Now, this is the first year I'm not playing.
Yeah.
So the stress level of playing rather than just getting to watch is completely different. So as of right now, 2 weeks in, they haven't played, the greatest talent so far, so it's been stress-free. Now, we got BYU this week, LSU next week, so getting to see those guys, it'll probably be a little more.
Where's your weight right now?
I'm at like 225.
How is that compared to your playing weight?
235 is where I was playing, but, keeping that 235, you got to really, carb up, hit the gym, but right now I've just been, running a lot and
Look at my man he's looking for workout tips already. He's trying to hit you up.
I think it's interesting when athletes get done playing, kind of what they do to change their regimen or what they do to change their diet. Like you're intentionally, losing a little bit of weight now, probably not lifting as heavily as you once were.
Honestly, the big thing is just eating.
Yeah.
Trying to eat better. I'm running a lot. I think I enjoy that in the mornings just to kind of get my day started. But like you said, hitting the weights, getting under the squat bar, I don't think I'm going to be throwing up 450, 500, anytime soon.
Arkansas, of course, a big matchup against BYU. That one going to be in the friendly confines over in Fayetteville. And last year, there were like 9,000 yards of offense, I felt, for at least the Razorbacks. And I see you shaking your head a little bit, Bumper. What was that look for?
There's just way too much, BYU gained way too many yards in that game. They came out with a good game plan, and they have a great coaching staff out there.
What does their offense do that gives you guys defensively a hard time?
Well, they were running the ball really well, and then they started opening up and passing the ball, and they honestly made every catch, it felt like. But going into this game, I think, the same thing with Arkansas fans. They're not very, excited with how the offense is played. But that's because KJ hasn't been running the ball, and that's been by design to keep him healthy. I think this week they come in, let him run, and then the offense opens up, especially the run game.
I was going to say, with no Rocket Sanders out for the second straight week, the question is you're right, how do you use KJ Jefferson at that point? Because we saw what KJ or Arkansas had when you didn't have KJ Jefferson 100% healthy. They struggled a little bit. How much do you believe that KJ has that mix with Dan Enos where he can say, I want to do this or I want to do that? How much of a conversation do they have?
I think at this point they realize that KJ is the motor of the offense regardless. So whatever they have, whatever system they have, they're going to have to add plays for KJ to run, because then people aren't just loading the box, stopping the running back. They have to take into the account that KJ can get out wide, and once he's moving, it's like the DBs, everyone starts coming up to help, tackle KJ, and then he's burning him over top.
You never got a chance to hit your own quarterback in practice.
Thank goodness.
Right? Yeah, I mean,
thank goodness. He was a black shirt in practice, and I was always like, quick tag, he's down.
Yeah. But what makes KJ such a important part of that team? I look at the leadership aspect. I mean, it seems like the team kind of rallies around him. What was he like in the locker room and that presence that he had?
He's able to connect with the entire team. No matter who it is, he's connecting with them. He's a great personality. And, when there's a big play that needs to be made, KJ's going to make it. Like you said, when, someone's blitzing him and he gets hit, he bounces off of it, makes a huge play. Like at BYU last year.
Yeah.
Incredible play that we needed, flipped the momentum, and ended up winning the game after that play.
When you look at it, KJ is a guy that we both interviewed over at SEC Media Days, and you get a chance to talk to him, and I'm sure he's cashed in extremely well for name, image, and likeness. And I feel like that's the prime example of how name, image, and likeness should work, right? A guy that comes into Arkansas, does extremely well, the fans absolutely love him, and now he's able to monetize that. But a lot of people outside the world of college football, or even fans of it, aren't used to this, right? How much does it actually change a locker room or change a team in those dynamics?
I think you see how good of leaders you have in a team, because usually your leaders are the ones that are getting the money, getting the cars, and how they treat everyone after that is important, especially as a young kid. I mean, you're 19 years old, you get a bunch of money. How are you going to treat other kids that don't have the same opportunity? And KJ's done a fantastic job about handling that, with poise and just being a great person all around.
Is it awkward for some guys? Because there's probably some great players that you sit there and go, well, why has this guy got a X amount of dollar deal and I don't? Was there ever awkwardness?
Jealousy?
Yeah. I mean, I'm jealous anytime that I see CD get something, like he gets to speak at one of these quarterback clubs. I'm like, bro, I can't get the love here. Like, what's going on?
I think so far they've done a good job about making it pretty equal. I know Arkansas does a great job. They have like a one Arkansas, NIL fund where they do distribute the money pretty evenly. But then everybody knows KJ deserves what he deserves. It's not like he's getting something that I don't think that he deserves to get. Now it could be changing, but when I was there, that's how I felt.
It's funny because you played in an era. It's like when we were young. We grew up, didn't have cell phones, and all of a sudden you have cell phones. So you can have an appreciation of what life was like after. You were there before NIL and thereafter. I mean, how much did it change just the whole feel of being on campus, having money, and being able to do things maybe that you didn't do before?
I mean, yeah, it definitely changes. But for me, it was my last year, so I already felt like I was somewhat mature. If I would have came in my freshman year having some money, it probably would have been different. I probably would have made some different decisions. So being able to see a bunch of these guys not be on headlines for acting crazy, because when you're 18 years old getting money, it's different.
So you think they've handled it well or haven't handled it as well with young guys? Yeah,
I think they have. I haven't seen a bunch of headlights out of Fayetteville from so and so, acting a fool. But no, I think they've handled it well, and I think honestly the education that they're being taught with it has been good.
Because that's life lessons, right? I mean, we learned in college, not necessarily what we learned in the actual lectures or anything like that. It was more like how do we balance our own budgets and how do we live our own life? And they're seeing that in real life application. Bumper Pool joining us here on SEC this morning. And Bumper, I'm fascinated by this. And you don't have to name names or coaches or whatnot, but we talk about the transfer portal so much, and I think it's hurt the SEC to a certain extent because the parity has gone out. How much tampering or how much have you heard, whether it's at Arkansas or somewhere else, of other teams and other coaches coming in and going, hey, man, if you were to put your name in the portal, we could find a spot for you? Is that a real thing, or is that a made-up thing that coaches talk about?
Yeah, I don't think that these, big-time recruits are just, going on a limb to these random schools. So I think they're definitely talking with somebody. Now, the rules on it, I mean, there hasn't been anybody getting in trouble for anything. So, if you're a coach, if you're a coach anywhere, it's about winning. So if they're gonna do everything they can to win, as long as the kid doesn't get hurt in the process, as long as he can go to a school and end up being successful.
Were there ever players that said, man, I love it here, but gosh, I got an opportunity somewhere else? Again, I don't need to know a name, but is that a real world application that happens? I would imagine at some point it does, right?
I'm sure that's definitely happened, but now I think a lot of that's not being talked to, at least me, because I was a leader of the team. There wasn't a guy coming to me being like, yo, I could get paid somewhere.
Could you have imagined leaving, though? The loyalty aspect, I think, is one of the things that we worry about not existing in college football anymore. Could you have imagined being a part of a team for 3 years and all of a sudden going somewhere else for your last year?
No, it would be It would just be like you put all that work in for your last year to leave. And, a lot of these kids have to realize the connections you make in college are who you're going to call on whenever you're done playing. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to hop in the transfer portal your senior year, well, you just kind of cut off all the connections that you made with all the boosters and everybody at that school to whenever you leave, you're not going to be able to, get those back because they know at the end of the day that you left.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that you were always smart about that. We talked about that at Media Day, saying that you use NIL to make those connections before what life is going to be like down the road. And see, you've discussed it like you wish you kind of missed out on talking to those people.
We talked to Bumper offset. I thought you made a great point about all of these different connections that you've made, that now you have an opportunity to find out, all right, what do I want to do next with my life? Let me try this. Let me talk to this person or that person. And was that something that you were made aware of while you were in school by your parents or by the coaching staff, or what?
My parents did a great job just kind of telling me, hey, when you do these deals, go and meet the CEO. Go and meet the person that you're going to get a check from, because it's not necessarily about the money, it's about the connection that you're making with these people. So now that I'm, just got done playing, I can call on these connections and say, hey, what's my next step? Who am I going to call on and be like, hey, I'm doing this, and that. What do you think? What do you think you would do in my shoes? So getting to be able to use those connections now is invaluable, and college football players should use that same model.
Fayetteville's the site of a big one, really the first test for Arkansas. That's 2-0 BYU out of the, Big 12 conference. Arkansas hammered the Cougars in Provo a year ago. Here's Lauren Sisler.
This Arkansas football team is 2-0 on the season, but this coaching staff knows it's going to require a lot more passion if they're going to find themselves in the win column going forward. Looking ahead to this week, the coaching staff said they really harped on that energy and passion that was going to be key for victory for them, especially against a BYU team that has shown a lot of physicality and a lot of aggressiveness. Coach Pittman was very happy with the way practice played out, lots of energy, lots of confidence. He said the key to this football game will be that passion if they want to be able to find more production in the run game, create those explosive plays, and win the turnover battle. That's going to create that momentum that they're going to need heading into this gauntlet of a schedule in the SEC.
BYU at Arkansas. This is a sneaky good game. Arkansas is the favorite, but last year Arkansas went out there. But this is a really good BYU team, and Arkansas needs to show some power. They have been kind of in the background, and Rocket Sanders not expected to play. That's a big deal.
Rocket Sanders is the story there in Arkansas today as they take on BYU, and it's because he's not going to play, so they're without him. Here's Lauren Sisler with Sam Pittman ahead of that one.
Coach, you're 2-0 on the season, but you've talked this week about energy, an extra energy that you've seen out there on the practice field. Describe that energy and how that translates on the field.
Well, it's a feeling, about the kids being locked in to whatever it is they need to work on. Sometimes, unfortunately, it just goes, but we understand what we need to work on. There's several things, but I could just feel that they going, this is how we get better. This is what we have to do. A lot of energy out there, and it was a feeling, and then you could see it during practice.
Paul said this earlier, sneaky good game between BYU and Arkansas.
Yeah, I don't think there's one player in the country that needs to put on a Superman cape more than KJ Jefferson. There is so much pressure on him. He's not getting protection. They're not running the football. He's having to make plays. For them to win, he's got to do it again, and I think he will.
Look, they have, say Arkansas.
I'm going Arkansas.
They have more than just Rocket Sanders, but Rocket is special, right? A.J. Green's a good player, Rashad Dabinian as well. But look, this was supposed to be the team that Def, Taxes, and Arkansas can run the football. That hasn't been the case, right? It's all on KJ. A name to keep an eye on, Isaac Tesla, the wide receiver transfer from a small D2 college, Hillsdale. He's balling.
Yeah, got to get it.
I think he'll have a big game, and I think KJ will make the plays through the air. I got Arkansas, but it is going to be close.
No doubt.
The backup running back situation at Arkansas does bother me a little bit. It scares me because they're just not as explosive in that run game. But the thing that's been so different for Arkansas, not KJ Jefferson, but the defense of Arkansas has been much better. They're able to play more man-to-man coverage. They're able to pressure the quarterback in a lot of different ways. I like Arkansas in a very close matchup here, and it's going to be because of KJ Jefferson being Superman and the defense under Travis Williams of Arkansas. Paul, who you got?
Yeah, I'm with Arkansas, but to me, this is a critical game for a lot of reasons, and take a look at the schedule right now. LSU next week in Baton Rouge. You lose this game and you are in trouble because then you have A&M. That's the game in Arlington, and of course the game that Arkansas blew last year. Then at Ole Miss, and then at Alabama. I mean, the season literally could be over if they blow this game and then go to chalk over the next couple of weeks. It's
they
critical.
always have the most difficult schedule, it seems like. One name, too, to watch out for, you guys, BYU defensive end Tyler Batty. He's got a couple tackles for loss, couple sacks. I think that Arkansas O-line's got to really hold strong to protect. KJ, all right.
This Arkansas football team is 2-0 on the season, but this coaching staff knows it's going to require a lot more passion if they're going to find themselves in the win column going forward. Looking ahead to this week, the coaching staff said they really harped on that energy and passion that was going to be key for victory for them, especially against a BYU team that has shown a lot of physicality and a lot of aggressiveness. Coach Pittman was very happy with the way practice played out, lots of energy, lots of confidence. He said the key to this football game will be that passion if they want to be able to find more production in the run game, create those explosive plays, and win the turnover battle. That's going to create that momentum that they're going to need heading into this gauntlet of a schedule in the SEC.
BYU.
And there is Kalani Sitake. And Kalani Sitake, in his 8th season now as head coach at BYU, first Tongan to become a collegiate football coach. You want to talk about a winner. He has now put up 5 consecutive winning seasons. Will Theron will kick things away. Isaiah Satenya back deep for the Razorbacks. Green in motion, and it's Jefferson, our design quarterback run right up the middle.
Not much of a surprise.
KJ run a lot more often. Play fake, and pass is complete over the middle, and that's good enough for a first down. That was complete to Andrew Armstrong from the pistol. And it's Green again. Green bounces it to the outside. Green is loose. Green down the sideline. He's got one man to beat. Touchdown, Arkansas. How did it happen, Rod?
Yeah, 2 tight ends set here, and keep your eye on number 9. Eventually Has will come back in and make a big block. But watch this double team in the middle. Watch 55 Limmer come up and get to Max Tooley, the linebacker, and cut him off. A.J. Green reads it perfectly. Has gets in for another blocking on that right side, overpowering him to the edge. And a guy who ran 10.300 meters in high school, there is no chance he's getting caught. He's a very accurate quarterback, not incredibly mobile, so they'll come after him.
Martin, and he's gobbled up by Trajan Jeffcoat. Keanu Hill in motion, pressure. Dumps it off to Martin. Martin tried to make a man miss, and he's dropped at the 34-yard line. Jaheim Thomas.
And hang in there.
Ryan Rico will punt things away for BYU. Satenya from his own 13. Satenya finds a hole. Satenya's loose. Satenya down the sideline. Pig Sue-wee, another Arkansas touchdown.
This could get out of hand. That's why BYU has to maintain their composure or it will get lost. You want your punt returner to make the first guy miss. Look at this. He runs right through 3 guys who really couldn't make a play on him. It wasn't that the blocking was that great. It was his speed and his decisiveness, and credit Arkansas for holding up at the end and not clipping. Watch the end of this run where a guy could make a block but backs off. Right here, look at him, backs away and doesn't commit a clip there.
Well, Satenya, you talk about the speed. He was the 2021-2022 Gatorade Arkansas Boys Track and Field Athlete of the Year. And look at the coach. He said, yeah, I like that. Yes, he's been out with a hamstring injury the entire season, but he's back. That one's incomplete. Keelan Marion.
Well, you talk about lightning strikes and everything going Arkansas's way. A.J. Green, big time 55-yarder, and then the punt return, 87 yards. All Razorbacks right now.
It's 14-7 here in the first quarter.
You attack the slot, don't attack the corners.
Slovis tried to throw the slant, broken up. 3rd and 10. Slovis throwing and broken up. See if they can spring another one for A.J. Green. Play fake to Green, and they throw the slant to Tyrone Broden. Broden hangs on. Plenty of time. Throwing, and that one's complete to Andrew Armstrong. And we're all tied up at 14.
That's the end of the first quarter.
How about the hands of Isaac Rex?
Yeah, he gets all the credit for this drive with the big one-handed catch to put BYU in position for the touchdown. Can Arkansas answer?
Deion Smith now. The play fake. Slovis fumbled the football. John Morgan III. He's the one who came in and stripped it.
And he comes around. Watch him as he swipes in. Good move to the inside. Actually gets held there. And BYU is lucky to get that ball back.
This is Dominic Johnson. Johnson cuts it back. Johnson across the 40. That's a first down. Ethan Slade came over to be defensive coordinator. BYU revamped their entire defensive coaching staff. That's Luke Haas. Has cross midfield. Lowers the shoulder. Here's Jefferson on second down. Throwing over the middle. And that's Armstrong with the catch, and he's right there at the first down marker. Dubinian cuts it back and brought down at the 20-yard line. Jefferson, plenty of time to the end zone. He's got a man wide open. Touchdown. The freshman, his first career touchdown.
KJ Jefferson had plenty of time. And watch, he knows where he's going with the ball. He's waiting for that outbreak, that flag route, delivers it perfectly, gives his receiver time. We're all tied up. Who knows what's going to happen next?
Minute 43 for Slovis and BYU. And he's got a man crossing route. Chase Roberts. He fumbled the football. Arkansas football.
Let him have some fun. This was a pick play and then a tremendous tackle right on the ball by McLaughlin and a good recovery by Hudson Clark.
KJ looking to the outside. He's got hands again. Booms it right through. And the Razorbacks will head into the locker room. And Martin behind him. And they'll give it to the freshman. And he is wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Trajan Jeffcoat. That Arkansas defense. Here's 1st and 10. This is Tyrone Broden. Broden around the edge. And he's inside the 30. So let's see if that pans out. He's got it again. And he's loose. KJ inside the 10. And he runs out of bounds at the 7. This is Green. Bounces to the outside. Dives. Touchdown. Second TD of the night for A.J. Green.
And he gets blocked. He gets basically hugged. Watch number 2 square up against Limber, the center. And he's free right now, and he wants to stay clean, but he can't. Center comes right off on him, hugs him up, and he can't get off to make the play. Now, because the center hugged him, wrapped him up, they could have flagged that as a hold.
Rolls right, throws on the run, incomplete. These Razorback defensive backs are all 6'2". Tall guys. Inside hand up, Cody Epps. Epps. Cross the 30 and driven back. They give it to Dubinian. And he gets a first down. Slovis. Look to take off, but he's sacked. Oh, Jaheim Thomas.
The blitzes by Arkansas, they don't do it an awful lot. Not with the linebackers off the edge because their defensive front is so good. But nobody saw Thomas coming off the edge.
And keep in mind now, Will Farron coming in. We got ourselves a good...
I love college football.
Jefferson Gives it up to Dubinian. Breaks 3, and he's got a first down. This is the second game he's missed. Pressure off the side. Benmark spins out as Jefferson. And Jefferson may have just gotten the first down. This is Green. This is Green. He's loose again. And tripped up at the 35. Tanner Wall makes the stop.
I tell you, Bo Limmer, the center, he's having a great night.
46 seconds. And it's Slovis to Roberts. Here's Slovis. Under pressure, sack. Landon Jackson.
Slovis had to hang on to the football. Nowhere to go with it. Now watch the twist game that you see. You get number 6, Morgan, coming in, and then you'll see Jackson comes around the other way. Watch him come around number 40, and he'll get right inside. 2 men free.
It's Martin again, trying to bounce it to the outside, and he's going to lose. Rex in motion. It's Martin, and he's wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage by Landon Jackson. In 11. Jefferson again, over the middle, and caught. At the 45, Jaden Wilson makes the catch, and the clock's moving. Jefferson again, he's got a man down the sideline. It's Armstrong. Jefferson looking left, steps up, under pressure, steps away, makes a man miss, and brought down inside the 20.
He can move his legs.
Replay first down. Flag was thrown down.
Well, there you see on the inside of your screen right there, you see Tyler Batty trying to get through and is clearly being held. Yeah, actually, a kind of a couple of them.
They got to get to the 24 for a first down. Jefferson looking, plenty of time, throwing. Caught. That's enough for a first down. Big time catch by Luke Haz. Haz is at the bottom of your screen. Jefferson under pressure and sacked. Flags everywhere, and BYU is going to win this football game.
Eligible touching of a forward pass by number 78. The penalty includes a loss of down. The game is over.
And BYU has gotten revenge after losing by 18 in Provo last year to Sam Pittman in Arkansas. They come here to Fayetteville and get a 7-point victory, 38-31.
What a big win for BYU in the Big 12. BYU starting its first season in the Big 12 will now go into Big 12 conference play. Came on the run and get this big win, and a tremendous pass rush and effort on the edge there on the outside. Banya sealing the game.
All right, Arkansas home for BYU. They throttled the Cougars in Provo last year. KJ Jefferson and company, here we go. First possession, A.J. Green. No Rocket Sanders for the second straight game. Still got the knee issues, but Green, 55 yards to the house.
We've been wanting to see more rushing attack contribute, and they did that early. How about the special teams as well coming into action? I mean, it looked like it was on the verge of being a blowout.
A bunch of big plays early by Arkansas.
That is Isaiah Satanga.
They go up 14-0 early, and we're looking around like, this is going to be a blowout.
It looked like
BYU said not so fast, my friend.
BYU's a good football team. BYU, the Big 12's BYU Cougars. Handoff. L.J. Martin. L.J. Not in the studio with us tonight, but there he is in Fayetteville.
Different LJ.
Different LJ. Not little Jimbo. Second quarter. Jefferson to Luke Haz. 19 yards. Arkansas ties it at 21. What a game. Back and forth. KJ, by the way, threw for 247 and that score. Keaton Slovis, former Trojan, former Pitt Panther, current BYU Cougar, finds Parker Kingston. Touchdown.
Yeah, you mentioned this game going back and forth. 14-0 by Arkansas. Then BYU goes on 21 points straight unanswered. Then Arkansas responds.
And then, oh my gosh.
And then this might be the catch of the week.
Chase Roberts. BYU goes into Fayetteville and gets the win. Let's take a look at a couple of matchups next week. Week 4. Arkansas meets LSU before November.
It's early, yeah.
Yes.
Weird.
First time since Arkansas joined the league in '92 they've played them that early. Tigers trying to hang on to that golden boot, the Basil boot, folks, after they got it last year.
BYU and Arkansas. No one was talking about Arkansas. Why? Keaton Slovis to Chase Roberts. What a grab.
One hand to reel it in, one foot, but.